watercolor friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and we are going to do an abstract tulips today. The watercolor supplies that I used for this project is Arches 140-pound cold press paper, and for the brushes I used a 3/4 flat angle brush as well as an 8 round. We used plastic wrap, washi tape to hold my paper down, and the Holbein watercolors I used were magenta, leaf green, sap green, Daniel Smith permanent green, and neutral tint also by Holbein. I'm starting off with adding some very bright greens, my favorite greens really. I have sap green, leaf green, and then a little bit of some brighter green at the end. So I'm laying down the green colors first. We're gonna do some fun abstract designs using plastic wrap. So I'm getting that area very well saturated. Coming in with my brighter green, this is just a permanent green, kind of like your Christmas green. And you just lay down some regular saran wrap, plastic wrap, and you could already see how the wet paint makes these designs, these lines. And I'm sort of just fixing it in a way that I find appealing. And then I'm gonna go on to work on the tulips. So my idea of having a really fun background was to do the tulips in a negative painting way. So I am painting around the shape of the tulip and getting my paper nice and wet. For the pink, I am using magenta, which is a very nice bright color. And I'm just sort of playing with the paint and just keep moving it around on your paper till you find it appealing. I am coming in with the same sap and leaf green and dropping those colors in to make some magic sprinkles happen. This is really the fun part about watercolor, and they will just mix on the paper on their own, and magical things just happen when you don't use too much control. I tend to be a tight painter, a realistic painter, but I have been playing around a lot and I am trying to loosen up. So that's the fun thing about being an artist, is our styles can evolve and change, and you know, the more we practice, the more we know, the better we get. So once your paper is completely saturated, you're gonna leave that whole thing dry. Then once it's dry, you take the plastic wrap off and you notice some very cool designs that have happened in that left upper hand corner. So now to paint the details of the tulips, I am going to work on the tulips wet on wet. Loosely following the reference photo that I provided for you, I am gonna put in some of that leaf green, that very warm sunny green to the base of the tulips, just like in the reference photo. Now, since we wet our tulips first, when we come in with the magenta, we're gonna have some very nice soft edges. If you guys like my artwork and you are getting value out of watching these videos, please subscribe to my channel. And as you paint the tulips, you move on to the next section and wet it first as well. Dropping in that sunny green. And coming in with the magenta. darkening up some areas so you get that pop of color. But I want to keep it nice, light and airy. I don't want to over detail it since this is an abstract painting. Working on the foliage, I am going to get those stems back in. And loosely doing some leaf shapes on top of the abstract design that we've already made. Now, to bring those tulips out of the background a little bit more, I decided to add a shadow. So I pre-wet the paper to soften up that design, and I'm just adding in a tiny bit of neutral tint. Okay, and you see how that does make it pop to the foreground a lot more. Yet we still have all those pretty colors in there. So it's a very simple, very stress-free and relaxing project, working loose and just using our imagination to get the idea of these tulips without too much consideration on detail. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I will see you guys next week.